Hello, welcome to Unleash the Power of AI, how to triple your business while doubling your time off, all using the power of AI. So, what are you about to learn in this session? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how and why the growth of your business is currently capped because there's so many constraints on a professional services business. You need to break through them, and you can't do it the same way that you've been doing it previously. I'm going to show you how to triple both your productivity and the productivity of your team so that you can triple the growth of your business. I'm going to show you how AI can help you find and engage with your ideal clients faster and help you deliver a constant stream of your ideal clients knocking down your door. We're going to talk about how you can deliver more for your existing clients, but in less time, so that you can focus on taking on those new clients or enjoying life outside of the business. And then finally, we're going to show you how you can grow your business faster using the power of AI, because AI has the potential to allow you to massively accelerate the growth of your business if you know how. But a word of warning before we start. You may have seen a Matrix style ad that brought you to this webinar. And I want to continue that analogy because if you've seen the film The Matrix, you will know that Morpheus offers Neo the blue pill or the red pill. Well, a word of warning to you, once you've seen this stuff, you can't unsee it. Once you take the blue pill, you get to see how the rabbit hole goes, and you can't undo that. So that's what a word of warning. You can't unlearn what I'm about to share with you. So what are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how you can grow both your business and your time off using AI, and how AI is the secret to growing your business whilst growing your time off. I'm going to do that without you having to work harder. This isn't, yes, you can work less, but you've got to work super hard when you're doing it. Actually, quite the opposite. I'm going to show you how to do this without it costing you lots of money either. You don't have to spend literally tens of thousands developing your own software. There's very cheap ways to do this. I'm going to show you how you can grow this business exponentially, but without compromising the quality of the work that you do, whether it be for your new clients or your existing client. And I'm going to show you how you can accelerate the growth of your business without employing any more people, and also without any previous experience. You don't need to be a coder to be able to use AI. You need no experience to be able to maximize the opportunity that's here. So a word of warning, and I share this with you because this is why this topic is so important. In business, you either need to adapt or die. And as things speed up, you need to speed up with your adaptation, otherwise you die quicker. And that is exactly the moment in time that we are presented with. And you may know the story of Netflix and Blockbuster, but to just shorten that story, when Netflix was just a small startup, they made the bold pitch to Blockbuster. The Blockbuster should buy them for $50 million. And long story short, Blockbuster laughed in Netflix's face. They said, "We own this space. Why would we buy you?" Well, spoiler alert, Blockbuster is no longer here, and Netflix is not worth $50 million. It's worth just shy of $300 billion. This is what is going to happen if you do not follow the AI revolution, if you do not embrace the world of AI, because your competitors will. They'll have a massive advantage over you, and they'll end up crushing you. So that is why this is such an important topic, and it's why you've got to do it now, because otherwise you'll be too far behind to catch up. But before we go any further, you may be asking, well, who is Charlie Redding? Why would I want to listen to him on this subject? Well, I historically ran one of the top financial planning practices in the UK, a company called Efficient Portfolio. We were an award-winning practice based in both the Midlands and in London. And we had a very good business, delivering the best financial planning that we possibly could. But probably like you, for many years, I was struggling too. I was drowning in admin, amounts of work, working too many hours, and not having the work-life balance that I should, as well as not really delivering the best service that we could for our clients. And then what I did was I decided that things needed to change. I decided, as I had a young family, I needed to change my work-life balance. I needed to have a more successful business. So I spent literally a fortune seeking out the best coaches the world had to offer, reading like over 300 business books, because success leaves clues. And I wanted to find what those clues were and how I could change that business. And I went from a very average business to having one of the top financial planning businesses in the UK. Like I said, we won multiple awards. I started getting featured on covers of industry magazines, on radio, on TV. And I also had my first book published, The Dream Retirement, How to Secure Your Money and Retire Happy. And we developed a reputation within the business for doing things differently. We had, some amazing marketing. We were renowned for some really good marketing. We had things like the Dream Retirement Dinner, which was a really innovative way of bringing in a constant flow of our ideal clients. But it still took a lot of my time to bring those clients in. And before we kind of made the transition that I'm about to share with you, we were still getting bogged down with too much one-to-one advice. The problem with most professional services firms is too much of the work is done one-to-one. And that means that you have a massive time constraint on your business. And typically, you'd find that the average financial advisor can deal with about 100 clients. And so you end up with this massive time constraint. And we still had that. But we came up with innovative ways to stretch it. But what I'm going to share with you is the way that you can break through that. But I've followed this journey of AI for a long time. I've been very passionate about using AI and technology within the business at every point possible. And in fact, in 2019, in Miami Beach, Florida, in front of an audience of 11,000 of the top financial advisors from around the globe, I predicted that AI was going to transform the financial services world and said that it was a massive threat to what we did as advisors. Well, since that time, I've sold Efficient Portfolio. I have exited the world of financial services and the world of regulated financial advice. And now what I do is I focus on helping professionals in practice, so financial advisors, accountants, and the like, grow their business whilst working less and enjoying more. And I do that through a business that we created called The Trusted Team. Because, what I do within that business is I help advisors break through that client ceiling. That client ceiling is such a problem in professional services firm because of that one-to-one approach. And we want to show you how you can break through that. And AI is an absolutely key part of the solution here. And in fact, I was just recently chatting to a firm of financial advisors that have integrated AI really well into their solution. So that's a firm of 25 employees, and they are looking after 14,000 clients. So they have broken through the ceiling, and AI can help you do that too. So that's what I tend to do. That's what I focus most of my time on nowadays, is coaching professional services firms and growing their business while working less and enjoying more. And AI is a key part of that journey. I'm also the host of a thing called the Business of Endurance podcast, which is a top 3% podcast where we get the top people from around the globe in the world of endurance sport, top triathletes, top ultra runners, all of those sorts of people on to understand what we can learn from the world of successful endurance athletes. And I'm going to come back to that with regards to how AI has helped me on that journey. And I'll come back to it a couple of times, but specifically, one of the ways it has helped me incredibly is that, when we first launched this podcast just 3 years ago, it was taking a huge amount of time to create show notes, get a transcript, cost us money to get a transcript, come up with titles, create snippets for the ads, all of that sort of stuff used to take us hours and hours and hours. AI now does pretty much all of that for us. And in fact, it's even going to turn 120 plus episodes into my next book. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'll share more with you on that in due course. Now, one of the things that I'm a big believer in is cloning ourselves as a business owner. So many times over the years, I've heard business owners say, I wish I could clone myself, because that's the secret to how I just need to grow my business. I wish I had 3 of me. Well, hopefully in the ad that you saw that brought you here.
Hi there,
guessing
the real Charlie Redding
this.
Here. And I've got a question for you.
I'll let him talk for just a minute.
AI revolution. It's likely that it's your greatest threat and your greatest opportunity. But what does AI Charlie have to say on the matter? We're not just talking about AI changing the world of business. We're talking about it revolutionizing the game. As business owners and entrepreneurs, we're in the midst of an unprecedented technological.
So that hasn't just worked for me. It's worked for lots of other people too. I'm using AI in my business, and we're using it in many businesses that I have now at so many different levels. And I have used it to clone myself. And I'll share with you some other ways over the course of this session as to how we've done that. But this hasn't just worked for me. It's worked for the members and the people that are a part of the trusted team. So for example, Ian runs a business called Kilu, and AI has helped him engage with their customers better. It's helped them bring on board onto their amazing software, Kilu, their clients better. So AI's helped Ian in a phenomenal way. Nitesh runs a web development agency, and he had more than enough clients coming at him. The problem was his lack of capacity, and AI has helped him massively accelerate what he can do, not just in that business, but actually he has a number of businesses, and it's helped him across all of those businesses. Now, for Matt, it was very different. Matt needed to find more clients, and AI has helped him on that journey, taking their business from a startup to a phenomenally successful award-winning business in a very short period of time. And AI has really helped Matt, as part of Accelerate Advisor Solutions, achieve that. So what I'm asking of you is to give me the next 30 minutes and I'll break down our entire AI model for you, and I'll show you what I believe it takes to use AI to treble your business and double your time off at the same time. I'm going to show you how to grow your business whilst working less using AI effectively, because if you're on this training at the moment, there is a good chance that you too, like I was years ago, are drowning in work. There's work coming at you from all angles, and you're not quite sure how to handle it all. And AI can take over a huge amount of that admin work for you and allow you the freedom to not get involved and bogged down in that type of work. And perhaps at the moment, you're working too many hours like I was all those years ago, and really perhaps not even making the profits that your efforts deserve. And yet, actually, you could have your feet up and earning money while you relax if you embrace the power of AI. That's what we're going to be talking about. And this stuff works particularly well for professionals in practice. So I'm thinking accountants, financial advisors, solicitors, those sorts of people that are very much intellect service-based businesses. And this will work for people who realize there is a better and faster way to do this, but you're not quite sure how. And it'll definitely work for people who want to earn more and make more based on the value that they create for those clients, because it's about getting the value that you create out to a much wider audience in a much smaller amount of time. So you're adding more value to the people out there that you help most. And that is ultimately what we're trying to do. Now, there's a few people it won't work for. So what I'm about to talk about won't work for physical businesses like building firms and that sort of stuff. You need an entirely different approach for a business like that. It's very much more for service. What I'm talking about is very much for service-based businesses. You can see this guy's got his arms crossed as well. It also won't work for people with a closed mindset. If you've got a closed mindset and like, oh, I've played around in ChatGPT, it didn't work for me, therefore it can't help my business. This is not going to work. It's only for people that have got a growth mindset that want to see the way into the future. It's also not going to work for you if you enjoy working 50 plus hours and you'd rather be working weekends and hanging out with your family or your mate. If that's you and you want to carry on with that, there's just not enough reason to do this. And it's also not going to work for you if you love the thrill of not knowing where the next client is coming from. It's not going to work for you if you want to be stressing around that as opposed to focusing on enjoying time with the people that you care most about. And it's also not for you if you're skeptical about AI. If you think AI is a fad that's going to fizzle away in the next few months and years, then this is not for you, because AI is here to stay and is going to go even faster than it currently is. So let's dive in. What I'm going to cover for you in this session is why AI will either treble your business or destroy it. It really is that serious a thing. It is the biggest thing since the internet. It really is the biggest change, and I'll explain why it's so important. I'm going to explain how AI can deliver you a constant stream of your ideal clients, having a constant stream of your ideal clients knocking down your door trying to get to you if you use it well. I'm going to show you how AI can increase your time off by 50%, because yes, it's great growing the business, but I'm going to show you how you can get it doing so much more of what what you currently fill your time with. And then finally, I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes people are making with AI. I've chatted to a huge amount of people about how they're using AI, and there seems to be a common series of mistakes people are making, which is stopping them getting the most out of the tools that are there. But I want to start with a concept as why AI? Why is it so important? And if you've read Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, which is a brilliant book on the history of mankind, basically concludes that the entire reason of why Homo sapiens out-evolved the Neanderthals and out-evolved other species and basically became the dominant species of the planet is because of conversation. Conversation was the most important development in allowing Homo sapiens to dominate the planet. And that's because, of course, we could share language, we could share stories, we could share learning. One person learned in their lifetime could be passed on to another, so it didn't take them a lifetime to learn the same things. Now, for the first time on the planet, we have another species that can also have conversation and can share that knowledge. Now, Yuval Noah Harari calls this alien intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. But the point is, this is why it's such a game changer. For the first time, we have something else on the planet that can converse and talk and learn. And that is why this is going to be such a huge game changer, particularly to the professional services world. When we had the Industrial Revolution, we had what people did with their hands was taken over by machines, by robots. You know, I've heard it said that for 300,000 years we lived like squirrels, for 10,000 years we lived like farmers, and then for 250 years everything changed and it went completely crazy. Well, this is how I see the world of business going at the moment. We had the Industrial Revolution, which took away the work that people did with their hands. And then we ended up with this massive explosion of service-based businesses like ours, like financial advisors, like accountants, because that was work they were doing with their brains. However, what we're going to see now is that artificial intelligence is going to take the vast majority of the work that people were doing with their brains. And what we're going to be left with is the work that people are doing with their hearts. So it's that emotional intelligence piece, that EQ piece is the most important factor in business going forward, because AI will replace the calculations and the assessments and the reporting and the analysis that our brains have historically been doing in the service-based professional services businesses. And I want to give you a principle around which you can think about how you use AI in its current form. So I am lucky enough to have a lovely house down in Cornwall. And when I decided that, when we're traveling as a family down from Rutland to Cornwall, I drive in a Tesla. And I've been driving a Tesla for like 7 years now. So I've got the hang of it pretty well by now. I don't get range anxiety like I once did. But what I do is I drive from my house in Rutland to the motorway. I then stick it on autopilot, and pretty much the Tesla drives itself almost all the way to St Agnes. And then I come off the A30 at St Agnes and I take over the driving again, and I drive from there to our house in St Agnes. So in other words, what have I done and what has the AI done? Well, what I've done the first roughly, let's call it 10%. The AI has then done the next 80%. And then finally I finish off and I do the last 10% of the journey. What that means is I get to St Agnes after like a 5.5 hour, 6 hour drive, and I'm not feeling tired. I feel still invigorated because all I've done for most of the journey is sit there and listen to a book. I haven't had to be emotionally engaged like I was historically when I first started driving down to Cornwall. I was exhausted by the time we got there. Now I can go out for a run, I can do whatever I want. So that's the principle that we need to think about for AI at the moment. It's this 10-80-10 principle. So you need, if you want to get the most out of AI, you need to craft the first 10%, give it enough detail for it to know what it is you're asking for. Then it will do the next 80% of the work that is involved, whatever that is. And we're going to look at how that should be in due course. And then finally, you can bespoke and personalize and craft it into the best solution, whatever it is. Again, we're going to come on to that in that last 10%. So that is a really brilliant way to think about AI, because it's the way to minimize the amount of time that you spend on doing something and maximize what you get out of it. The other way I want you to think about AI is, and I'm going to use the analogy of my Ironman racing. So I'm big into my endurance sport, as you maybe picked up from the fact that I host a podcast called The Business of Endurance. And I love racing in Ironmans and ultramarathons and things like that. Now, but I'm going to focus on the Ironman at the moment. If I'm traveling 140.6 miles, and of that, I'm doing 112 miles on the bike, a 2.4 mile swim before that, and a 26.2 mile run after that, I've got three different forms of transport. I've got the swim, I've got the bike, and I have got the run. Now, if you ask me to swim 26.2 miles instead of running it, that Ironman would take me an awful lot longer. It would take me probably 4 or 5 times longer because I can run faster than I can swim. Equally, if you asked me to run the 112 miles I cycle instead of taking my bike, I don't know how long that would take me, but a lot longer than I would want to be out there. So the reason I tell you this is because I use the bike, because I'm allowed to use the bike, and because it gets me the 112 miles significantly quicker than I could run it. I run the 26 miles because it gets me through the 26 miles much quicker than if I swam it. AI is that mechanism. It's a tool to get you from A to B way quicker than you currently are. And that's, again, how you want to think about AI. So when I build anything and think about concepts, my brain works in frameworks. So I like to build frameworks to help me clarify my thinking. And as I've spent more and more time thinking about AI, I realized that really there was 5 ways that I could integrate it into a professional services firm. There was 5 key metrics and 5 key areas that if I focused on, I could maximize the benefits of AI and focus on the opportunities. So that's what I want to share with you now. So I call this framework the AI CEO. And to start with, I thought about really the thing to think about first is to analyze, using AI to analyze. So in other words, I want to transform chaos in the business into clarity. I want to make smarter decisions for my business and for me personally, using the power of AI. And the best way I can do that is I can use AI to analyze so many different things in our business. When I did that talk on the stage in Miami in front of 11,000 of the top financial advisors around the globe, what I said was, if I had cancer and I went to see the doctor, and I needed to see the doctor, if the AI can better diagnose my cancer, I want the AI. If the AI can give me a better kind of life expectancy and prognosis and design me better medicine and analyze kind of the specific cancer I've got to create the best bespoke treatment I definitely want the AI. Do I want the AI answering my questions and putting their arm around me when I'm upset about the news? Probably not. That's where I want the human. And that's how we need to think about analyzing. The thing with professional services firms like accountants, financial advisors, solicitors, it really is a business of intelligence in and intelligence out. We're not really being paid to do the stuff for the client. Often we're being paid for our wisdom and expertise. And that is why it's such threat from AI, because that's the bit it can do pretty much almost as well as any human being on the planet at the moment, and it will be better than any human being on the planet. So we need to think about how that analysis and how we can use it in our business, and also the threat that it offers some of our businesses. So, for example, I told you I sold my financial planning business earlier on. One of the things that when I went through that sale, I obviously had a solicitor analyzing the contract and pulling out the pros and cons and things like that. And then that contract I initially signed 3 years ago. So long before I could use the tools we have available now. But recently I needed to go back and analyze that contract again and say, look, actually, I need to know some things around my restrictive covenant. Now, historically, I'd have had to go and pay a lawyer to do that. But now all I did was I uploaded that contract into AI, and I could just ask it questions. It could give me all of the legal. I'm dyslexic. I'm definitely not a lawyer. So reading complicated contracts is definitely not one of my fortes. But the AI did it all for me. It gave me really simplified questions when I was doing that. So it can analyze legal documents for me and provide me with the information that I need. Now, I've been using AI note-taking for a while now, and what I've really worked out, it's all very well having those AI notes, and I'm sure you're probably already using that yourself. Most professional business people I meet nowadays dialing into Zoom with an AI note-taker of some sort. But what I've really noticed is if we then get the AI to analyze what that has done afterwards, we can improve our sales. We can improve the follow-up that we send to clients. We can identify patterns, identify what's going on in our business, because we just need to understand how we use the AI to do that. And we can massively transform the process that we use within our business. As a couple more tool use of analyzing within AI. When VAT was being talked about being added to school fees, I was weighing up the balance of, do I prepay the school fees or not? And I got AI to basically do all of the calculations to show me what the difference between assuming X amount of growth rate and all of those different things, putting in the probability of whether VAT got added or not, and all of those different things. And it helped me make a far better decision. It did all of the analysis that a good financial advisor would do on school fee planning, but actually provided me with a whole load more calculations and assumptions than I would have even expected. I've even got it to build me investment portfolios in literally minutes. And that's a bespoke investment portfolio to my level of risk. And it took me minutes to build a proper investment portfolio that's diversified, level to my level of risk, but also with my bespoke and tuning within it and preferences. Actually, the investment market has clearly shied away from where we have a centralized investment approach, because we want to make it really easy for everyone to be in one of a few buckets. And if you think that AI is restricted to analyzing just numbers and words, think again. It'll also be analyzing people's emotions. It already can see your face. We've seen it in the one of the ChatGPT launch videos of how it can read emotions and then reply, having empathized with those emotions. So analyzing is one really massive way that it can help us in our business. And the next way is to help us generate more and better ideas. And in fact, AI can supercharge your creativity, and it can ideate 10 times faster, or you can ideate 10 times faster if you know how to use AI. And therefore, not only do you generate more ideas, but you can also implement those ideas far better. And to kind of get you understanding the power of AI in this situation, I want to tell you a bit of a story. So there's a game called Go, which is a bit like chess. It's been played for over 2,000 years. Its origins are based in China and Japan, and it's been played by humans for 2,000 years, but it's way more complicated than chess. And like years ago, it was predicted that whilst AI would at some point be able to beat the chess grandmasters, and it obviously went on to do that, the prediction was that it would never be able to beat a human at Go. So anyway, Google created AlphaGo, and it was challenged to play Lee Sedol, who was the world's best Go player at the time. You may have heard this story before, but there's an interesting part that you may not have heard. So, spoiler alert, the AI beat Lee Sedol. I think the score was 3-1. And that was seen as an incredible achievement by AI. Two things that were really interesting. The first thing was move 37. In one of those games, move 37 by AlphaGo looked to be a bug in the system. All the commentators, even Lee Sedol, said afterwards, I had no idea why AlphaGo was playing that move. It felt like it was just the weirdest move. However, as that game went on, it ended up meaning that move 37 not only stopped Lee Sedol being able to win that game, it actually allowed the AI to defeat him. In other words, humans had been playing Go for 2,000 years and never come up with this particular strategy. In just a few days of playing Go, AI had created a completely new strategy, a completely new approach to playing the most complicated game invented by a human. So that's the first thing that's really interesting. AlphaGo took the level of Go to a new level and will continue to do so, because what Google then did was they created another version of this AI, but they called it AlphaGo Zero. Now, they didn't actually create one of these, they created two of these. And all they did was they gave it the rules of the game Go, but with no training whatsoever. And AlphaGo Zero played against itself continuously until, for however long, I can't remember how long it was. They then pitched AlphaGo Zero, the self-trained, trained by AI, AlphaGo Zero, against the original AlphaGo that beat Lee Sedol 3-1. And the new AI, the self-trained AI, won 100 games to 0. That is an unbelievable transformation. So AI has the potential to create entirely new ideas, thought processes, and frameworks. And it's actually frameworks is one of the ways that I use this. I did this talk at the PFS conference, and this is built around, it's called the fee value framework, and it's about how to generate higher fees whilst actually increasing the value that your clients receive. And the fee value framework and the words around this and this whole framework, I used AI to create. So when we understand how we can use it, we can build entire framework and unique propositions using the ideation of AI. The next thing, and probably the thing that you're most familiar with, is to use AI to create stuff for us. And really with AI, you can create at the speed of thought. AI tools that can help you execute your expertise far faster and also fill in the gaps of where you don't have expertise. So what do I mean by that? Well, sadly, earlier on this year, my uncle passed away, and I was asked if I would read a poem at his funeral. So I was trawling through the internet, and I was struggling to find a poem that really summed up my Uncle Jim. He was a very special man. He had a really good beef cattle herd. He loved his training of gun dogs and shooting and everything else that was country sort of sport. And I couldn't find a poem that really summed it up. So I asked a friend of mine who had written poems in the past whether she'd be willing to write a poem for his funeral, and she said she didn't feel comfortable doing it. So in an act of desperation, I took a list of the stories and the memories that I had from my growing up with Uncle Jim, and I asked AI to write me the poem. Now, its first draft was amazing, but it wasn't perfect. So I went back and said, no, I don't like this verse. I don't like the use of this word here. Can we swap this for this? Can we change this? Or that's given me another idea. Can we do that? What I ended up with was a poem that had my relatives literally queuing up afterwards to say what a beautiful, touching, amazing poem that was. Now, I don't have a poetic bone in my body. So AI filled the gap. I had all the stories though. I knew what Uncle Jim meant to me and to my cousins. I just didn't have the poetic skill. AI delivered that bit for me. And that's where we can use it. We can use it to create things that are far beyond our skill set or to do things much quicker. So I mentioned earlier with the podcast, we're using that. That speeds up our process, creating the podcast. Now it's a better podcast than it's ever been, and yet it takes us less time than it's ever taken us. I mentioned my first book, The Dream Retirement. Now, and by the way, a podcast is a great way to promote your business if you can afford the time to do it. So by employing the tactics of using AI, now means you can afford the time to do it. You can use that as a brilliant way of meeting more of your ideal clients and growing your business and getting your message out there, but in a fraction of the time. The same with writing a book. So I believe that writing a book, probably the most powerful way you can promote yourself and your business. I made over £1 million in fee income from my first book, The Dream Retirement. And that was when we stopped counting, probably, I don't know how many years ago that was. It made us a lot of money because a book positions you as the expert. It's the best business card you can give. People never throw it away. They read it when they need it. They come back to you. It builds trust. It builds referrals. It's just brilliant. But it took me 3 years to write The Dream Retirement. I'm now writing the Business of Endurance book, which is based on the 120 plus episodes we've done of the podcast. It'll take me a tiny fraction of that time. And that's taking the wisdom from over 200 hours of podcast interviews and turning them into a really powerful book. That book will be better written than The Dream Retirement, and it'll take me a fraction of the time. Not only that, we can take long form. So when I speak at events or even, things like this, we can take that and turn it into multiple different things, whether that's social media ads, whether that's videos on the website, whether that's YouTube long form content. All of that can be turned into multiple different things using AI in a fraction of the time it would previously have done, including adding all of the kind of subtext and subtitles and everything else that is apparently a good thing nowadays. The main thing is that you can use AI to take your message from a one-to-one message to a one-to-many message. You can reach many people in the time it historically took you to reach one if you create using AI. The next step is to engage with people using AI. And this really has the opportunity to revolutionize the engagement that you have with your prospects, with your clients, and with your team. It really has the opportunity to take it to another level and actually improve that engagement whilst taking a fraction of the time that it did previously. I'm not sure if you have Spotify, but Spotify is a brilliant platform. I love Spotify. But if you have Spotify, have you tried the Meet Your DJ on Spotify? So this is an example of how Spotify decided that they can engage with their ideal clients better. I can go on and have play my own DJ, picking out songs from my past, current songs I like because of my listening history, all woven into themes with a bit of interaction between saying, talking to me about what I like and what I grew up with and all of that kind of amazing stuff. Brilliant interaction. It's a great way of Spotify engaging with me as a customer. And we can be doing the same thing. And in fact, here's another example. This is Taryn Southern. She's a singer, very successful singer, but she's decided that she can engage with her clients better by creating a whole album produced by AI. It's still her voice, but AI produced the music. If you don't believe this is going to be a thing, I encourage you to watch the movie Her. It's a brilliant film, but it'll blow your mind in terms of how an AI is engaging with a human being, albeit in this science fiction film, but you'll soon see that this is really not very far away. But I'll give you a business example. So I was chatting to a guy I know lives in Rutland half of the year. He's one of Canada's top lawyers. So he's a bright guy. And he was looking to buy a new kitchen for his house in Rutland. He said, right, so I found what I thought might be the company to use. And I was inquiring on their website, and I had this amazing conversation with this brilliant human being based on their website. And eventually I decided, yep, this is the firm. They answered all my questions. I want to phone up and order this kitchen. So I phoned up the company, and he said, I'd just like to say, by the way, the sales agent that you had on your website was fantastic and deserves a bonus. And the owner of the kitchen company said, that's very kind of you to give that feedback. I really appreciate it. I have to tell you that sales agent was artificial intelligence. He was blown away. Unbelievable service. And in fact, that's a classic example of how you can grow your business. Sales agents or sales bots on your website increase your closing rate of the website by about 12% is my understanding. So how can we engage with our clients, our team, and our prospect using AI? Well, you've seen one brief example of me doing this. Here's another example of me doing it.
To your hard-earned wealth when you're gone? Do you want to leave a lasting legacy for your loved ones, but don't know where to start?
Now, wouldn't this be a really cool thing if that was interacting with your client and explaining what you can do with, explaining a particular report you've sent them, or a prospect, engaging with them before they meet your firm? Or perhaps if you wanted to interact with your team better, you might want to use some AI like this to talk them through what it is, it means to be a part of your company.
Are you an entrepreneur or professional who is overwhelmed by the constant challenges of your business? Is your work-life balance off? Do you yearn to connect with professionals who share your interests in meaningful ways?
So if you're looking to clone yourself and engage with more people in less time, AI can massively ramp that up. You can create bespoke, personalized videos and send them to your prospects, to your clients, to your team. You can have video training instead of boring standard operating procedures. You can do so much with the power of AI on that engage front. And that really is how you break through that client ceiling. And then finally, you can have AI actually operating your business for you. And so, this is really about how to break through that client ceiling, operating the business through AI, and just exponentially increasing what you do as a business using the power of AI. And to kind of explain what I'm trying to get across here, the best analogy I can give you is going back to Tesla. So when Tesla first introduced that autopilot feature, one of the early adopters in the US was trying to get his Tesla to drive him from his work to his home using the autopilot. And he had quite a sharp corner on his drive home, and the autopilot kept failing to go around this corner. And on about the fifth or sixth attempt, the autopilot managed to get around that corner, and it did every day thereafter. So here's the interesting thing. It wasn't just his Tesla that learned how to drive that corner that day. It was every Tesla on the planet, and every Tesla made thereafter now knew how to take that corner. That is the power of using AI to operate. Suddenly, the scale is just incredible. If you get it doing it once, it can do it literally thousands of times. We've just talked about getting it to engage with your prospects. If you can get it to engage with one person, you can have it engaging with 1 million people 24/7 simultaneously. It's unbelievable, the opportunity. Now, one of the problems that we have in the world of financial services is that we get all of these random documents from different life insurance companies, and we have to transfer them into one standardized document that relates to like the type of investment, the type of pension. But of course, each different company has a different way of terming it. And it takes, like an hour or 2 hours each time for each client with each policy. So sometimes a client will come in with 15 different policies. That's 15 to 30 hours of taking all of those different documents. You're paying somebody to transfer that into standard templates. We're currently building within AI a tool that will do that in seconds. That is operating on another level. It will save firms a fortune because it's operating within the business. And of course, that could be used for a whole multitude of complicated documents that relate to clients, whether that's legal documents, whether it's accountancy documents, whether it's financial planning documents. So that's the framework I wanted to share with you. The last thing I want to share with you is the 7 mistakes of ineffective AI use, because I see people making the same mistakes time and again. So the first thing I find is that people aren't giving the AI enough detail in the first place. They're giving it really generic information or asking it a really basic question, but they're not setting up for success. If you took on an employee and said, I'd like you to write a standard operating procedure for running this business, they'd have no chance of doing that. If you said, I want it for this specific part of the business and this is when I want it by, they'd have a better chance of doing it. We need to learn to give it the right amount of detail and give it the right information so that it can do a good job on what it delivers. The second thing I see is people giving up too easily. I've seen posts on like LinkedIn saying, oh, ChatGPT was rubbish. It did a really bad job for me. You haven't learned to use it properly yet. Give it a chance and don't give up, but learn to craft it. Because once you've learned it, it's like learning to type. Once you've learned to type and you learn to type well, it exponentially increases your productivity. The next thing is that people are expecting perfect immediately. And I'd refer you back to that 80-10-80-10 principle. You're going to have to craft the first bit, which is the information that you need to give it. And you are going to have to fine tune it at the other end. But 80% of the grunt work can be done by the AI if you let it. So don't expect perfect immediately. But with learning and tweaking it, you can get there. One of the things that I find that people are doing is they're getting lost in this. There's just too many different AI tools out there. Which one do I use and for what? It's taken me 18 months of playing around with literally hundreds of AI tools. And I've now created a directory of the ones that I think are the best tools for professional services firms. But not only that, how you use each in each different situation. And so that saves me and my teams a huge amount of time because we just go straight to that, go, right, we need a tool for this. Here we go. Next biggest mistake is not keeping up with the moving landscape. The world of AI is changing at lightning speed. And if you're not keeping up with it, you're behind in no time. So that's really important. You've got to embrace keeping up with it. The next thing is that I've seen this done by a few business owners, is they're learning it themselves. They're going to talk about AI, but they're not getting their team to learn it. If you've got a team of 10 and you only learn it yourself, that's one person that you could triple the productivity of. If you've got a team of 10 and the whole team learn AI well, that's 30 times the productivity of the business. And that's phenomenally powerful if you can do that. Next thing is, what I'm seeing is that people aren't understanding that you can bespoke these AI tools that are out there. They're just going in and using the tools as they were generically built. But actually, the most powerful thing that you can do is bespoke the tools for your specific purposes. And when you do that, you can have phenomenal success. So what have we covered in this kind of amazingly fast whistle-stop tour of how you can grow your business using AI? Well, firstly, we've looked at how you can transform chaos into clarity, how to analyze for better business decisions. Secondly, we've looked at supercharging your creativity and how you can create ideas 10 times faster using the power of AI. Then we've looked at transforming chaos into clarity. Oh, no, I've covered that one already, haven't I? Then creating at the speed of thought, so that you can use AI tools to help you execute your expertise way faster. Then we've touched on how you can revolutionize prospect, client, and team engagement using AI. And we've also looked at how you can break through that client ceiling, that glass ceiling that stops you growing the business, using and operating the business through the power of AI. And then finally, what we've done is we've looked at those 7 biggest mistakes of people not giving enough detail and crafting the prompts that they use, giving up far too easily so that they don't really kind of master the tools properly, expecting perfectly immediately and forgetting that you need to do the 10-80-10 principle, getting lost in literally hundreds of AI tools as opposed to focusing on the kind of the handful that can really make a massive difference to your business today. Not keeping up with the changing landscape and going, well, okay, I found this 3 months ago. I finally got around to trying it and not realizing that actually the game has moved again in 3 months. Learning the stuff themselves, but not teaching it to their team, which obviously then stunts the amount of growth you can get through AI. And then finally, just settling for the generic tools and the generic outputs from AI, as opposed to really bespoking and building your own unique solutions for your business. So imagine increasing your profits whilst you actually work less. I'd love you to enjoy the same freedom in your business as I had in my business and I have in my business. I've taken 3 months of every year off for the last 10 years now, and I expect you to do the same. You can do that if you embrace this technology. And AI is the system or the tool, the game-changing tool that's going to allow you to do that. However, a word of warning. In the words of Tony Robbins, if you do the same today as you did yesterday, you'll get the same results tomorrow as you got today. So if you want to see change, you've got to actually take the blue pill, and to go back to that matrix analogy, see how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Really get to understand how powerful this is and how it can impact your specific business. Because like I said, professional services firms have the greatest threat from AI because it's intellect in, intellect out. But equally, they probably have the greatest potential for growth because of it as well. So what I want to do, if you really want to grow your business while working less, then there's a system and there's a way you can do that. And the first thing is really, you've got to learn which AI tools to focus on and which AI tools are going to make the greatest impact to your specific business and your specific needs and where you're currently spending most of your time. And that's not just your time, of course, that's the time of your team. Then you need to learn how to harness their full potential. I said people are using the generic versions of the tools too much. And actually, the real power is when you can start to bespoke them and harness their true potential for your specific business. If you want to grow your business using AI, you need to understand some kind of clear principles around what it is that it can do well and how you can exponentially grow your business, whether that's through marketing, whether that's through engagement, all of those sorts of different things. You also, if you want to work less using AI, there's specific things that you can use to have it kind of managing your emails or doing kind of working out complicated formulas or trends or spreadsheets or all of that kind of stuff to save you huge amounts of time and save your team huge amounts of time. You also need to focus on the work you love through AI. You get rid of the work that you don't enjoy and focus on the stuff that A, you love, and B, you're really good at. If you harness the power of AI, you can just do that stuff and get rid of everything else. And you make you and your team 10 times more productive. Imagine what that could do for your business. So if you want all of that, then I have an opportunity to share with you. And that is a course that we've created as part of the trusted team called the AI Advanced Masterclass. So the AI Advanced Masterclass is about generating ways that you can grow your business. It's going to be a 12-week course that's going to show you specifically on how you can use AI to grow your business. It's going to map out, it's going to go through that whole framework, the AI CEO, which, by the way, I should have pointed out at the time, AI helped me create that framework. You probably aren't surprised to hear that now, but it did. It helped me refine my thinking on that and then create a framework that was memorable to be able to explain better to you and hopefully for you to better remember. So the AI Advanced Masterclass will guide you through a journey to show you how professional service firms like yours can grow their business using the power of AI, and also massive, like double the amount of time that you have off at the moment whilst trebling the business. So that's what it's going to be all about. It's a virtual course. You'll be able to digest it at the right speed for you, and you'll be able to maximize your business through that course. And, as I alluded to earlier, I spent over £500,000 on coaching. I also spent a phenomenal amount of time reading over 300 business books, and success leaves clues. You could go off and learn this stuff yourself. I've no doubt. I've spent since 2019, I've been following the journey of AI, but I've spent 18 months since selling my financial planning business, diving into a huge amount of detail on AI. And I want to fast track that journey for you. And that's why the AI Masterclass can help you. And it's not going to cost you the £500,000 I've spent on coaching. It's just an investment of 1997. And that will, just think about it. I mean, if this could treble your business, treble your productivity, treble the productivity of your team, as well as giving you a whole lot more time off, how much is that worth to you? We'll come back to that in a minute. But who's this course for? Well, it's specifically designed for professionals in practice. So accountants, listers, financial advisors, estate agents, those guys that are professionals in practice, intellect in, intellect out. It's designed to help show you how you can use AI to accelerate your growth, but also to eliminate the threat of AI from your competitors. So specifically designed for professional firms. It's definitely not for those physical businesses like builders and people that use their hands and their muscles. This is not the course for them. It's also not the course if you've got a closed mindset, if you love working long hours, and if you have a closed mindset, or you'd rather spend your time working than with your children growing up. And it's definitely not for you if you think AI is a fad and you're skeptical of this stuff. It will give you, though, 3 things that you need to be successful. So those 3 things are simplified training, but with enough details. So we'll make it really simple, but we'll give you the detail you need so that you can actually go away and immediately implement stuff within your business. I'm going to give you specific guides on how to fast track using AI. There'll be loads within that, lots of different specific guides that will go, right, here you go. This is how you do this, watch this, follow this, and you've got it. And then finally, there'll be some shortcuts. I'm going to give you some shortcuts to save you the 18 months I've spent playing around with these different tools and learning what does or doesn't work. And that then will lead you to being able to grow your business while working less. It'll empower your team to do more. It'll remove you as the bottleneck within your business, and it'll allow you to clone yourself within the business. It's 12, like I said, it's 12 weeks of virtual coaching sessions, and it's not just for you, it's also for your team. We'll go through and build, that course is all built around the AI CEO framework. So we'll look at how you can use analysis of different parts of your business to grow the business. We'll look at how you can use it to ideate 10 times faster. We'll look at how you can use it to create way more content within your business so that you've got a much better marketing presence. We'll show you how you can engage with your team, prospects, and clients through AI so that you can break through that client ceiling. And again, so that you can break through that client ceiling, we'll show you how you can operate some of the parts of a professional services firm using the power of AI. And I love decision makers. I work much closer with decision makers, always have liked people that can make decisions. And so therefore, if you're one of those decision makers, then we want to reward you for being a decision maker. So if you decide to take us up on the AI Masterclass, having come through this webinar, I want to give you some bonuses. We'll show you that we want to reward the decision makers and action takers that are watching this now. So I'm going to give you a few things within that bonus. One thing is I've spent 18 months crafting different prompts. I said to you, if you don't give it the detail that it needs, it'll just do a rubbish job. If on the other hand, you do give it the detail, then it will deliver 10 times better results. So I will give you the prompts that I have created that are allowing me to write books, newsletters, make it sound exactly like me, both in terms of my tone of how I'm speaking now, my tone of writing. I'll give you all of the prompts that's taken me literally 18 months to create since I've been playing around with this stuff in a lot of detail. And that'll fast track how you get there. I'll also give you my AI tool directory because, like I said, for professional services firms, there's literally hundreds of tools out there that you could use, but I think it's important that we drill down on the ones that we see the greatest benefit. And so I'll give you that AI tool directory as one of those bonuses to save you, again, a huge amount of time filtering out the ones that are most powerful. What I'll also do for you is, for those people that sign up for the AI masterclass, I'll give you an hour of my coaching time. Now, this is worth thousands, but I'm not saying this to be really salesy or anything. I don't have much time because I ring fence my time and my time off with very clear boundaries. So there aren't loads of these. However, if you book onto the AI masterclass, subject to availability, and it's not quite as bad as getting Oasis tickets, but not far off, then I will give you an hour of my coaching time included within. And the reason I do that is because once I understand your business, I can specifically point out areas within the AI masterclass that you can drill down on to get the greatest bang for your buck once I understand the constraints within your business. Now, what I'm also going to do as a bonus, I'm going to give you a session that I did on how to write a business book. Like I said to you earlier, having a book within your business is probably the most powerful marketing strategy you can have. It can take a huge amount of time to create one. Or if you know how, you can do it in literally no time at all. And in fact, within the AI masterclass, I'm going to do a session with you where I write a chapter of the book there and then within the session. I'll show you exactly what I do to write a whole chapter of a book in a matter of minutes. And yes, it will be my book. It will be my ideas, but it will be done and it'll be written even better than I can write it. And I'll show you exactly how I do that. But once you've got the ability to do that, you'll want to know, well, what makes a really good book and how do I use that within my business? So I'll give you access to how to write a business book so that you really understand the kind of concepts around the book as well as the concepts around the AI. And as a reminder, I made over £1 million from my first book, The Dream Retirement. I've written 3 since that time that have been some more, some less successful than that. We've just launched the 2.0 version of my third book, Entrepreneurial Happiness. And this now includes the updated AI stuff that we talk about. So I'll also, as a bonus, give you a copy of the new Entrepreneurial Happiness 2.0 that is literally hot off the press as we speak. And because it's one of the things that you need to do within the business once you understand AI is go through a process which I call the game of gains, which is about looking at every step in the business and identifying ways to improve your business. It's the single most powerful exercise I took my team through on an annual basis that contributed to 50% growth year on year in my financial services business. So I want to give you that because once you understand how you can use AI, you can use the game of gains to help you massively leverage what you do in your business. And so I'm going to give you a workshop called 3 Steps to Entrepreneurial Happiness, which includes that game of gains exercise, because the combination of two, again, is going to give you massive business growth. As you understand that and the AI, you can accelerate your business really quickly. And that's a whole morning worth of coaching there. And whether you use it for AI or not, it's still phenomenally valuable, but even more so when you combine it with the knowledge that you're going to get from the AI Advanced Masterclass. And unlike a lot of courses that say, well, you've got to buy this for each of the people that want to consume the course, actually, we don't want to do that. We know the greatest power is not just you learning how to use AI, but it's your team learning how to use AI. So we've got no problem with giving you access to it so that you can share it with your team, because if your team are learning this stuff too, it's going to massively, exponentially grow your business. So you can grow and teach your team how to use AI using this same course, and you have to buy it once for them. And we'll give you lifetime access to this, so you don't have to worry about consuming it within just 12 weeks. If you need to take longer than that, you'll have lifetime access. So I want you to think about, what would this be worth to you? If you could triple the turnover of your business having embraced AI, what would that mean to you? How much more money would that business make? And by the way, what if you were to triple that business, but without any increase in your costs? How would that really impact your life, your business, what you could do within your business? What would happen if you could double your free time? How would you spend that free time? Would you be spending it with more time with a family? Would you be spending more time on the golf course or whatever it is that you have a passion for? Would you be looking after your own physical and mental health better? Would you allow you to live a better, longer life? What would you do with twice as much free time as you currently take? And by the way, if that's currently less than a month and a half, then think about, well, what could you do if you had 3 months of every year off? Because that's what I think you should be doing, assuming you want it, of course. And then what would it mean to you if when you turned up for work, you only firstly, you only work as much as you want to work. But secondly, when you turned up for work, you only did the part of the job that you absolutely love and you delegated everything else. What would that mean to you? Even if you take 3 months of every year off, 9 months is still at work. So what would it mean to you to only be doing the stuff that you love in the 9 months you do spend at work? So think about the impact that this could have. And then think about if this is a 12-week course, it's £1,997. That's £22 per day. That apparently is the cost of a hole punch. So a hole punch a day has the potential, the cost of a hole punch a day has the potential to treble your business, double your time off, and allow you to do the work that you love more. So sure, hole punches are great, but wouldn't you be rather punching holes through barriers in your business rather than just paper? We'll have you shredding the paperwork, not just punching holes in it. And enough AI generated cheesy punchlines. Oh, that was bad, wasn't it? That one wasn't AI generated. Anyway, enough. Think about the cost comparison of spending £22 a day to give yourself the potential to treble your business, double your time off, and love the work that you do more. So here you go. If you would like to be a part of the AI Advanced Masterclass, we would love to get you involved. We'd love to show you how you can treble your business whilst working less and enjoying your work more. It's an investment of just £1,997. It's worth way more than £5,000. It's probably worth 10 times that figure. But not only that, because we like action takers, if you sign up for at the end of this webinar, then what we'll include for you as well, at no extra cost, we'll give you the AI tool directory, which, like I said, was the key tools to focus on and why each can help your business. Second thing we'll do is we'll give you all the prompts that I've created so that you can fast track that and just use those prompts, whether it's in writing a book. I'll give you all of the prompts I use to write a book. So if you want to write a book, you can just use those prompts. It'll save you a phenomenal amount of time and thought. We'll give you a better future coaching call. That's an hour's coaching with me so that we can understand how you can use AI specifically to overcome your current concerns and threats and how you can use it to maximize your opportunities and strengths. We'll also give you the how to write a business book so that once you understand how you can use AI, you can understand the principles of a great business book and how to use it to grow your business. We'll give you 3 steps to entrepreneurial happiness so that, again, once you understand how you can use AI, you can use the game of gains to really exponentially grow your business with that AI knowledge in the background. I'll give you a physical copy, we'll post it to you, of my new book, Entrepreneurial Happiness 2.0, which include a whole piece on AI as well. We'll allow you to give your access to your team so that they can watch and get the AI learning, and we'll make that access lifetime. So all for what's actually like a tiny drop in the ocean. You just think if you're turning over £1 million, this could generate you, another £2 million without it costing you any more on the bottom line, or for a small investment of 1,997. And not only that, if that isn't enough, I'll guarantee you're satisfied with this. If after the first session you're not completely satisfied with what you've got, no questions asked, we'll give you a refund. That's our promise to you. We know that you're going to be blown away by this course, but if for any reason you're not, after the first session, you can just ask for a complete refund. So another person this process helped is Claire. Claire's a nutritionist that runs an incredible business called Fourth Discipline. And actually, the biggest problem that Claire had was that she was working around our God sends, and AI has allowed her to massively increase her productivity whilst actually taking a whole load of her time back. And she could see that for her business, it was an incredible threat, but also it's an incredible opportunity for her to see. And then Annie Allison, who runs her own business, she was kind of worried because she didn't think she understood anything about AI, and she thought she would not know how to actually embrace it. And yet actually we've been able to show her she can embrace it without expertise in this area, but also without any cost. It's given her so much more firepower in her business. So the AI Masterclass, plus all of the bonuses for those people that can make a decision now, then if you're interested in joining us on that incredible journey, then what I'd love to do is I'm going to share the link with you in a minute. I warn you in advance because, like I said, I do not have many of those coaching calls available. I limit the time I can spend on a one-to-one basis to a pretty small amount. So I'm giving you forewarning on that. By the way, if you book onto the AI Masterclass and you find that there isn't a coaching call for a month or 2 months or 3 months, I just, that's all the availability I have. But you will get it over the course of that, even if it's not as quickly as you'd like. Sometimes it's good to have that early on. Sometimes maybe you might even prefer to do it once you've got through some of the course so that you can ask me specific stuff. So without further ado, if you would like to join us on the AI Advanced Masterclass, what you need to do is you need to scan the QR code. And once you scan the QR code, it'll take you through to a page where you can sign up for the AI Masterclass. You can click payment link, and you can, once you've gone through and paid, you'll be enrolled. We'll start to send you those bonuses through immediately. Some you'll wait until you start the course, because it's actually better. We can do a better job if we send them to you once you started the course. Others you'll get straight away as soon as you've signed up and received confirmation that you've paid up and you've joined the AI Masterclass. And the feedback we get on this is absolutely phenomenal. So I know you're going to be blown away by it. If you've got any questions around the AI Masterclass or anything around that, the best thing you can do is on that, if you scan that QR code, you can chat to my AI superhero twin. So you would expect nothing less from a course like this, but I have a virtual counterpart, and you can have a chat with him. You can chat to virtual Charlie. He doesn't actually look like my superhero twin as we have it here, but you can chat to virtual Charlie. It's not me. Don't be surprised. It's not me. It's my virtual friend or virtual sibling, but he'll be able to answer any questions. If he can't answer them, then obviously there's contact details to get in contact with us. But generally speaking, he should be able to answer almost anything about the AI Advanced Masterclass. And also he'll be able to answer and kind of help you understand how AI can help you in your business, and then show you how the AI Masterclass can really take your business to the next level. So if you want to join us for the AI Masterclass and get all of those amazing bonuses, including the AI tool directory, including my prompts, which includes all of my book writing prompts, also obviously the Better Future Coaching call with me to help you identify the best ways that you can grow your business while working less and enjoying more. And that will obviously be focused around AI, but it's not, that conversation is not exclusively about AI for sure. We'll show you how you can write your own business book, and we'll show you how you can do that in a fraction of the time that it took me to write my ones previously. We'll give you the 3 steps to entrepreneurial happiness so that you can benefit from the game of gains, that tool that exercise that allows me and my team to grow the business by 50% year on year for 7 consecutive years. We'll give you Entrepreneurial Happiness 2.0. We'll send you that. I might even sign it for you if you're lucky. We'll give you the access to your team, and obviously it'll be lifetime access, and you've got the satisfaction guarantee. So if you're not completely happy after the first session, no questions asked, we'll give you a full refund. So I'd love to get you onto the AI Masterclass. Join us for that. It's just an investment of just $1997. So scan the QR code. And, like I said, if you've got any questions on this, whether it's the right fit for you, have a chat with virtual Charlie. He'll be able to answer almost any question, I suspect. And he might even answer some different questions that you might want to ask me from my history in terms of financial planning or my endurance sport or whatever it is. So have an interaction with virtual Charlie. And if you'd like to join us at the AI Masterclass, it starts soon. So don't hesitate. Join us now. And not only that, get that coaching call booked in soon as we send you the link afterwards, because otherwise you might have to wait a while for it. But I just want you to think about one last thing I want you to think about is, what if you don't do this? If you don't learn about AI and you don't embrace the future, you risk becoming the next blockbuster video, because your competitors who do embrace the world of AI will be Netflix, and they will eat you for breakfast. So if you don't embrace this, you have the full threat of AI heading straight towards you. On the other hand, if you do embrace the power of AI and understand how you can use it in your business, you will have the competitive edge. You will be able to drive your business forward. You'll be able to achieve massive growth in your business whilst working less and focusing on the work that you enjoy most. And that can transform your life and your business, as well as the lives of your clients. So if you make the same decision today as you made yesterday, you'll get the same results tomorrow as you got today. Take action. Embrace the journey of AI. Come join us at the AI Masterclass, and we'll help you see how AI can take your business to the next level. But not just that, take your life to the next level. So scan the QR code, sign up for the AI Masterclass, and we will get you on the fast track to success. Thank you very much.